Airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Oregon football.
Our connection, our toughness, our growing through moments, our DNA traits showed up at the end.
10, 5, Bonix, give me 6, pressure, boom. Dorlus got to him again.
I just know how hard our guys work, and you love when they work hard, they get rewarded.
To the 10, 5, 6. Bucky Irving, can he get 3 on his feet? He does. Franklin scores. Ferguson turns and gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Oregon. Touchdown, Ducks.
It was exciting for me to see our guys go out there and execute. I'm proud of them. I love them. So really grateful for that moment.
This is the Oregon Football Coaches Show on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by Toyota. Let's go places. Today's broadcast is also brought to you by Country Financial Insurance, Protect What Matters, and by Pepsi and Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks! Drink Pepsi. Now let's go to the Country Financial Studios and talk Oregon Duck football.
Gang's all here. Everybody in the house. Here we go. Welcome to the Toyota Coaches Show. I'm Jerry Allen with Jorgie, and the coach is in the house. I said bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, but I don't know if that's a compliment or not. I think it
I'll
would
take
be.
it as one.
Okay, all right. That's
Like
good.
the sweatshirt, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, this is good look, man. I love these.
Yeah, you probably wear that again, huh? I mean, and if you don't want to, it probably would fit me. I'm just
You an XL? You
okay, so it might not fit me.
Yeah.
By the way, let the record show I'm still growing a beard, okay?
Yeah.
Strong.
He
Now it
zinged me
looks
last
really
week. You were
good.
already gone. Oh, he
It
was
looks
like,
good now.
Yeah, right.
I was about to comment on it. It does.
Thank
It looks
you.
strong.
It takes a while. It's the Movember beard, you know.
You got
But I
the
have
guts to
start
do it.
Well, I got to start it early in October because it takes me a while to get it going. So by the end of November, it wouldn't be there. So all right. My wife has a lot to say about that, by the way, too. Welcome to the show in our Country Financial Studios. It's time for our Pepsi Coaches interview, where we get the nuts and bolts, and we really don't have much for you tonight, Coach. So if you want to take off early, go right.
Sounds good.
Don't you
No.
dare. Don't you dare. I'm going to start it with this is something that you probably have never thought about, but back in the day for us, and somebody brought this up Saturday after the game, we're bowl eligible. I mean, that is something that Oregon fans
To
used
get the
to
six
look to get
wins,
the
right?
6 wins, because there were a lot of years when Oregon didn't get to a bowl. So somebody mentioned that to me on Saturday after the game, said, Jared, you realize how far this program has come. Getting bowl eligible doesn't mean a thing anymore.
I'll be honest, this is the first time I've heard anybody even mention it.
Really?
I didn't even think about it until
Yeah,
now because
yeah.
it's certainly not our goal.
No, not at all.
But times have changed, I guess.
You go back to Washington State game, and I know we're already, 4 days past that. But how long after a game, that game or any game, do you continue to look at video or break it down or use that game in coaching?
Well, we use all of our previous games quite a bit. You know, and you don't necessarily go back and watch the entire game, but you pull specific plays that you're like, okay, I think we're going to see something similar to this again. How will we handle that situation if we got it again? That's pretty common for us. So it's not every play, but you'll spend some time going through all the plays that have happened this season and say, okay, how can we do this better? Where can we build off of this? You know, have we given this look? What look can we give that looks similar? So that happens quite a bit through the season.
Does that end on Sunday? I mean, or does it
As far as
carry on
putting the
in
game to
week?
yeah,
Well, looking back. And
Oh, no. You look back throughout the season. So you kind of build a Rolodex of, okay, here's plays that I think we need to continue to work throughout the rest of the season because we'll see them again. Or, you know, vice versa. This is something we've done already that we want to build off of. As far as putting the game to bed, you know, we're watching Utah this week. We're watching a lot of Utah, but they watch film too. And who are they watching? They're watching us. So I think one of the things you can do as a coach that a lot of people lose sight of is evaluating yourself. How would you attack you, right? And, you know, going through that process of what you've given up or what's been successful for you, and then how are they going to defend that or combat that?
You're almost 8 weeks into the season now. Do you and your staff, do you coach your team differently now than you did at the start of the season? And by that, I mean, you don't have to do you're still doing all the work, but I mean, they've learned a lot. They're kind of coaching themselves. Do you coach differently now than you did 2 months ago?
No, I don't coach differently, but we certainly adapt and change. We work different situations in practice. We lengthen some periods, shorten others. Rest and recovery is really important this time of year, and how you incorporate that rest throughout the sequence of the week, I think, is really important. But you have to adapt, lean on our sports science, which we've talked about in here before, and how you adapt that as well.
I hear you talk about complete games and almost playing a complete game, or what's a complete game look like? I mean, to you, what are the factors, not all of them, but what are a lot of the factors that you want to see that makes a complete game?
Yeah, just, it probably starts with the score, right? That's a big piece of it. But, the standard of play, right? And what's the standard of play? It's winning situational football. It's winning short yardage. It's winning in the red area. It's winning in all three phases, special teams, right? Protecting the ball, taking the ball away, right? So we have goals each week kind of in each, phase of our team that we want to hit. And there's a lot of them, right? But it always starts with 1A, which is the W.
I would imagine the season starts, fall camp starts, guys are all trying to learn, pick up on everything. But as the season goes on, and I notice in practice, more players coaching players. Is that something that you encourage, talk about, and try to get guys to do? Is that just something they pick up?
Well, I think, on elite teams, that's what you have, right? On elite teams, guys coach each other. And you can learn just as much from a player as you can a coach, because the coach is probably coaching the next play. So if you just came off the field and you're, talking through how you saw a certain route or a certain pattern match, that's really big.
The way the game started wasn't easy. I mean, obviously, you guys moved down the field and, a few mistakes here and there, come away with not as many points as you wanted to, even though there were yards to go with it. Washington State moving the ball too. What's the demeanor of the team on the sideline when they don't panic? They keep under control in a tight game like that, where it's easy to get frustrated. But what's the demeanor of the team, and how do they kind of keep that together?
Yeah, I think our team's been in enough situations this year and in the past that they know that it's a 4-quarter game, right? It's not a first-quarter game. It's not a 5-minute game. So there's going to be up and downs in games, and as long as we continue to adjust well and execute at a high level, we'll work through some of those rough patches that exist in football.
You adjust during the game as you have time, but at halftime I've heard so many announcers say, we've said it ourselves, tight ball game at the end of that first half, apparently made some adjustments at halftime and came out and kick-started and really ran off. Do you really adjust at half, or is it just trying to get better execution of what you've been trying to do?
Well, yeah, a combination of both. I think you evaluate what's working for sure, and then you say, okay, would this wrinkle help us? Could we do a little bit more of this? You probably dial in your call sheet a little bit more at half when you don't have that same amount of time in between series to really discuss things as a full group. More heads are better than one, so we try to put the brain trust together and figure out what will make us better going into the second half and how we can build off of it.
Felt like throughout that whole game, you kind of took their best shot. I mean, they made a lot of great plays throughout the game, gave themselves, Washington State, an opportunity, and yet your defense, and I hate to use this, Jerry and I were talking about it, bend but don't break defense. I mean, you'd rather not bend in the first place. But it felt like that as they would make a few plays, you guys would stiffen up, take their best shot. I thought that was a key during the game, was you guys you took their best shot and continued to respond.
Yeah, you said it. I don't like that word either, bend but don't break. We want to fight for every yard, and we gave up too many this past Saturday, and that happens when you don't execute the way you're capable of. But ultimately, we're able to walk away with the win, which is
key plays, right?
That's right. Keep playing.
And I'm going to get a quick break in here and come back. It's our Pepsi Coaches Show, the entertainment part of it, if you will. And we got a little video we're going to show you. Talk about speed on this team. We're going to show you some speed when we come back, all right? I'll tease you with that here. It's the Toyota Coaches Show. We're in the studio here, and we're back with more after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Wherever you are in life, once a duck, always a duck, and that's OCCU. Since 1956, OCCU has helped the University of Oregon community take flight financially with great rates, lower fees, nationwide ATM access, and mobile banking. Earn more interest with remarkable checking, and show your duck devotion with a duck debit card. If you're a duck, you belong at OCCU. Go Ducks. Join OCCU. Learn more at myoccu.org/getduckdebit. Insured by NCUA.
Fubo is the official streaming platform of Oregon Athletics. With Fubo, you can watch every Pac-12 game, plus more college and pro sports, shows, movies, and news on over 350 live TV channels. Stream it live on your TV, phone, and other devices. No cable required. The best part? You can try Fubo free. There's no contract or commitment. To start watching, just go to FuboTV.com. That's FuboTV.com.
More gridiron action in 1 minute.
Gonna throw. Oh, what a play for the middle. Touchdown, Oregon.
Coming your way on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force, and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back inside welcome back to our Country Financial Studios. I'm stumbling over myself here tonight, getting ready for what is a huge game this weekend. And I'm disappointed because we had a video we're going to show you of one of the fastest guys on the team, and it's not Taki Taimani. Actually, Coach, we had a video of you running down the sideline. Who was scoring? It was Bucky on that big run? And you were stride for stride right with
I was keeping I'm faster than Bucky, is what you're saying?
Yeah, you were. Yeah, we were going to try to time you, but you don't
Did
have
you have GPS on?
GPS
I wasn't wearing
21.
a GPS.
We were figuring it looked like 21 miles an hour.
No chance I hit 21.
I don't watch you that much. I mean, I'm into the game. Are you pretty animated up and down when you're coaching?
I don't think so. No, I'm pretty calm and collected. Maybe a little animated.
You went from the 50 to the 30 inside the box. You stayed inside the box.
Yeah.
You went from the 50 to the 30 really quick.
I'm in better shape this year than I have been in the past. You know, I'm eating right and things like that.
It was fun. It was fun looking at that. We'll get a chance to maybe show you after you get off the show. I know you and your staff are continually coaching. I think we've talked about this before, coaching kids, getting them ready for games, going through all kinds of stuff. But how often do coaches get with players or players get with coaches and say, hey, Coach, we've been looking at the video. We're watching our opponent. We see this. We think we can do this. How often do they come to you with ideas?
You know, it certainly happens. I don't know how often it happens, but we ask our guys to look. Taki will tell you about it a little bit when you guys get to visit with him, but we do a thing called signal callers where our players will actually get up in front of the room and tell you what they've seen on film this week. You know, if there's a certain tell by a stance, if they're able to put together like our pass rush game plan and why we're doing it. I think it's really important for players to be able to tell you the why and why we're trying to accomplish something, why it's going to be executed the right way. So it's something we definitely lean on.
I want to follow up with that. Do players help each other with those tells? I mean, if a guy sees a guy doing something like maybe, hey, you're doing that every time, you want to change the way you line up.
Yeah, definitely. Our guys, we call them nuggets, right? You try to find the nuggets that can lead to success, and our guys definitely look for that for the opponent and then try to study themselves as well.
I love it.
He had a couple of backs run for 100 yards this last week. Jordan James obviously is really stepping to the table. What's made him, aside from reps and game reps and practice reps and everything else that goes with it, what's all of a sudden taken his game to a next level?
Yeah, I just think he's continued to develop. You know, when you're hungry and you work really hard, it shows up in practice. I don't think any of us are surprised at all to see what Jordan's doing on the field right now because of what he's done in practice, and he's done a good job of it.
Talk a little bit about the way they're coached, too, by Coach Laughlin.
Yeah, I've said it before that those guys take on the personality of their coach. You know, Coach Laughlin's very demanding. He cares, about his players, and he has a really high standard of performance. So you might see a guy bust out a run for 15 yards, and Coach Laughlin might be coaching him really hard because he thought it could have been 35.
You were asked about Bucky Irving and his performance in that game. In fact, almost every game he plays in, how does he do what he does? I mean, at this level, there are a lot of great athletes and great running backs, but he's got a little something extra. Now, you mentioned that heart Talk about Bucky a little bit and what he gives you.
Yeah, he's just a tremendous person, and I think that the way he cares, it shows up in the way he plays, right? It means a lot to him. Every time he touches that ball, or even when he's not touching the ball, you watch the way the guy plays when he's not touching it. It means something to wear, that Oregon jersey. It means something to be out there with his teammates and his brothers and to perform at a high level.
We were talking to you a little bit during the timeout about downfield blocking, and it just seemed like your team, and maybe it's just because of the videos we saw of Patrick Herbert and others wiping people out, but the difference between a 10 or 15-yard gain and a 40-yard gain are those blocks down the play, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. That's how you create explosive plays, and I've talked about it a lot, but I think it's showing up more and more this year. Our guys are blocking really well on the perimeter, and when they don't have the ball, they're finding a hat to go block.
There was a guy that exploded this past week in tackles. I mean, you've had most games, single digits, a lot of guys run to the ball. Evan Williams, 14 tackles. I think he had a sack. He just showed up. What was the magic this week in what he did?
Well, I think that's something he's capable of every time he touches the field. Part of it's about getting the opportunity to do it and then getting guys on the ground when you do. And Evan's proven to be a good tackler. Somebody told me after the game that the last person to have 14 tackles was his brother Bennett. So
how about that?
Pretty cool that they're able to share that with each other.
Talk about the importance, if you would, of having safeties who can cover. Because in this league, it seems like a majority of the teams will put 3, sometimes 4 wide receivers out there on the field. And it's not just corners that have to cover, it's safeties. And that was the case with Washington State. The importance of that in your safeties and their ability.
Yeah, now in college football, you need everybody on the field that can cover. There's even a couple plays where we asked Taki to cover the running back out the backfield. So it's important. It's important to be able to cover guys and cover people up, and we like playing tight coverage.
You have, I think, 6 receivers with double digits receptions and more, another 3 or 4 or 5 guys that are contributing on a regular basis. So you get ready to game plan. How do you determine who's going to go, who's going to run right? I mean, is it dependent on the defense, or you've got a lot of weapons there. How do you depend how to use those?
Well, we try to send them all out for routes, and then whoever's open, that's the one we want to try to throw it to, right? I think our offensive coaches do a really good job, trying to create a schematic advantage for us. And then we know that we have a lot of good players. So what that means is you can't cover just one, right? Somebody else will be open, and we'll take advantage of it when we get the opportunity.
Great having Taki here tonight. Obviously, the depth of your defense has really been a key this year, being able to rotate. And you hear opposing coaches talk about it too. The ability to rotate guys in and out, and I don't care if they're seniors, juniors, freshmen. You got a ton of guys playing on defense that are playing quality downs for you.
Yeah, and I think you just said it, quality, right? It's about quality over quantity. So when you have strength in numbers and you have a lot of guys that can play at a high level, the better you're going to be when you're out there performing. And, we've been able to have that. This past week, I thought some fatigue showed up at times, and we were able to roll some guys, but we can certainly play better too when that's the case.
This is a venue coming up. I mean, you've been road tested. You've been on the road with some big venues, noise. So this is a team that is not going to go in and go, wow, we haven't seen this before. As you get ready for your first visit to Salt Lake City, how do you approach this game with the anticipation of well, I guess we talk about the Colorado game and how big that was, and then the Washington game, how big that was. How do you approach this game now? Because it's a big game again.
They're all big, right? And it's the next one, so it's a big one. But, for us, again, I think we're really fortunate to have had some of those experiences so far this year, and that'll certainly carry over to this one.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. I mean, the amount of big games that these guys have played in this year, that certainly helps carry in that type of situation.
Yeah, no doubt.
Veteran. All right, let's get one more break, and we come back. We'll talk about the opponent, Utah, coming up next. It's our Toyota Coaches Show. I'm Jerry Almajorgi, and the coach. We're back with more in our Country Financial studio after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
There's more Duck football around the corner.
Got him deep. He's open. He's got it. And he's gone. 10-5. Touchdown, Oregon.
60 seconds away on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
Welcome back inside the Country Financial Studios. I'm Jerry Allen with Jorgie. It's our Toyota Coaches Show, and our interview brought to you by Pepsi and locally owned Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks, drink Pepsi, Utah. Coming up, maybe the toughest defense your team has faced this year. I think everybody admits that they got a great defense. What makes them so good?
Well, they're very multiple. They cover well, and they're really good against the run. So they probably provide, some of the more unique pressures, too, that we'll see in our conference. So you have to handle it, especially in a home environment for them. They become even more dangerous.
Mutual respect between these two teams, I'm sure, because I think a lot of people respect what Coach Whittingham has done with that Utah program and what they've accomplished, even without Cam Rising. But how do you feel about that from a standpoint of the way the two teams look at each other?
Yeah,
what you see so far?
I absolutely have a ton of respect for Coach and the job that he's done there and how he's been able to do it for so long, right? And they've had a lot of consistency with their staff, and I think that usually leads to success. They've done a great job developing players, and they utilize their personnel extremely well.
You talk about a unique defense. I'm thinking Bo Nix, he's going to have to look at that defense and make those calls. How often during a game does he have the option or wait to look and see what the defense is going to do before that call is made?
Yeah, just about every play. There's some tempo plays where it's kind of call it and haul it, and we'll roll. But, Bo always has the ability to get us in the right look.
Your defense is pretty good, too. They play him well, and obviously got a Utah offense. Bryson Barnes and the way that he played this last weekend against USC. Your comments on him and what you see with him and the way that the offense operates under him.
The kid's tough, isn't he? I mean, you can see it. He took some licks last week, but he made the tough yards when it mattered most, and I think he's getting better and better every single week. He's become more efficient. You can tell he's starting to feel really comfortable in that offense.
I was going to ask you this before we started all the talk about football. It's about football, but that has to do with communications between the sideline and the quarterback or the team on the field. The NFL, the quarterback has got audio in his helmet. Is that something that you would like to see happen in college football?
Yeah, I'd certainly be open to it. I think there's some real benefits there if that's something we can figure out. I've never been in the NFL, so I've never been, I'm not extremely familiar, but you see obviously the huddles and things like that still happen. There'll still be some signals that are required to communicate, line up, and play and execute at a high level because the way I understand it, only one player has that, communication device in their helmet.
But the signals we're talking about, too, I mean, the quarterback has to get it, but then the offensive line needs to know, and I see the receivers are looking probably at somebody else, so there's a lot of stuff flying around on the sidelines.
Yeah, all 11 people need to know the call. That's definitely true. So
talk about. I asked you during the break about Sione Vaki and what he does, a two-way player, really good two-way player on both sides of the ball. Talk about him a little bit if you would.
Yeah, it's hard to pick which one he's better at. He's really good, like you said, and has done a great job for them when he's come in the game on offense, and obviously been really critical for them on defense. So he's one we have to know where he's at.
How's your week of practice been?
It's been a good week. It's been a really good week. I think our guys have worked really hard, executing the plan, and putting themselves in tough situations in practice so we can perform on Saturdays.
I know you don't talk about players individually, but the health of the team coming along.
Yeah, I think at this point in the year, there's probably not a guy, if you walk in the locker room and ask him how he's feeling, that his body's not a little banged up. That's that's the way football works. But we do a lot, for our players from a standpoint of trying to get them back to where they feel good as they roll into a Saturday. We modify practices a lot throughout the season, and whether it's yoga or acupuncture or a massage, whatever we can do to help those guys get back and ready to play. But I feel like our guys are relatively healthy considering.
You see an attitude or an anxiousness, I don't know if that's even a word, with your guys as you get further into the week that just, let us go, let us run next game. I can't wait.
Yeah, I think our guys are always anxious, and lucky for us, our schedule sets up really well where we're going to be playing a lot of really good teams, and we've played some really good teams, but there's no letdowns, and certainly this one won't be a letdown. It's a national stage with a great opponent that we're excited to go play.
Day game again. Huh?
This year feels different.
Yeah, it does feel different.
Every week, games are big weeks, but at the same time, it's just the level of these. Anytime game day shows up twice as part of the games, it's been a lot of fun. No doubt about it.
It's game day again.
Game day again.
They keep showing up when Oregon
What's the new story going to be, right?
I don't know.
We shall see.
All right, Coach. I know you had some things you could have been doing tonight, but you spent some time here with us. We appreciate it. What can you say about that guy that's coming on in just a moment?
I love that dude. He's a special one, man. He's been great for the Oregon Ducks, I'll say that, and he's a phenomenal teammate. I wish you guys could peel back the layers and see, what he does for our program that's not on the field.
Wow, that's special. All right, well, Taki's coming up with Joey in a moment. We'll let you go. Thanks again for coming in.
Absolutely.
Appreciate everything. We're going to go away, come back, and get you more on the Toyota Coaches Show. Joey Mac's got you next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers. Ready for some SUV action? Drive family adventures with the Highlander. Make a splash with the RAV4. Or haul fun with a Sequoia. Check them at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Fubo is the official streaming platform of Oregon Athletics. With Fubo, you can watch every Pac-12 game, plus more college and pro sports, shows, movies, and news on over 350 live TV channels. Stream it live on your TV, phone, and other devices. No cable required. The best part? You can try Fubo free. There's no contract or commitment. To start watching, just go to FuboTV.com. That's FuboTV.com.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers. Ready for some SUV action? Drive family adventures with the Highlander. Make a splash with the RAV4. Or haul fun with a Sequoia. Check them at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Go Ducks!
It's made, turn, don't deny me the end zone. Touchdown, Oregon.
This is Oregon football from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing, but not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. This breaks my heart, and it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and gives it to families in need. To help, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. My way of continuing my service is to help protect my community by being a responsible gun owner and by storing firearms safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
We're back on the Toyota Coaches Show. Joey Mac in the Country Financial Studio with Taki Taimani here, ladies and gentlemen. Taki, welcome. So I asked the big question if you got the scouting report, and the answer was no, which means you are not anticipating the first question. Is that right?
I'm not. I'm not ready for this.
Well, okay, I'm going to preface this with something important, all right? Taki is one of the better interviews that we send out to talk to everybody. Has anyone ever told you that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you are. You are a veteran. You're energetic. I mean, that's why we have you in the studio. Okay?
Appreciate it.
So I don't want you to be nervous.
Okay.
Just be ready for this. Okay. We have a tradition. You have to tell your 2-minute life story when you come into the studio for the first time. We're competitive. We'll time you. If you're better than your offensive lineman brethren, I'll make sure to tell you. You ready?
Yeah, 2-minute life story. All right, I think I'm ready.
2-minute life story. Taki Taimani,
Okay,
go.
Let's start this off. Okay, Taki Taimani. I was born in Salt Lake City, Utah. We're heading this weekend, so I'm excited. Yeah. And so my 2-minute life story. I was raised by my grandparents who immigrated to the U.S. In I think the 60s, 70s. And they settled in Utah. And pretty much all my life I was raised by them since I was 2 months, so that's pretty much me. And then I actually went to the high school down the street from the University of Utah. 2-minute walk. Insane, but, I grew up in Utah, man. I loved it. I loved my experience, and then I think my sophomore year, I decided to change my last name. Not a lot of people know that. So I had my stepdad's last name growing up, and then I decided to change it to my grandparents' name because they raised me all my life. And I was like, this is the least I can do. These guys showed me love all my life. They took me in. So I did that, and there's a lot of big meaning behind it. Everyone was like kind of asking me about it throughout recruiting. I was just like, this is my grandparents, man. I love them with all my heart. And then, I went to the University of Washington. And
say that. You couldn't even get through it.
But yeah, I love my time there, man. Chris Peterson, a great guy, man. I'll tell you that. He changed around boys. He changed around the University of Washington, man, and a big mentor to me, honestly speaking. I still talk to that man to this day. We connect. He's always checking up on me, man. That's a dude that I love with all my heart, and he's been a big part of like football and just kind of becoming a young man. And then now,
that's awesome.
I'm here with Dan Lanning, the guy. I'm loving it.
Minute 35. Well done. Well done. That was great. Hey, so I was actually going to talk with you. I'm glad that you brought this up because I was going to talk with you about the last name because at Washington it was Sam Taimani even too.
Yeah.
So you've gone through. So here's how I'll describe it. You're a tough Google. I mean, you have really found a way to make, like someone like me has to go in depth. But that's really cool. How awesome was that? How much did that mean to your grandparents when you did that?
Man, it meant everything to them, because they took me in and I just I kind of grew up just watching them. They didn't know much English, but the just hi, hello, just the simple, gestures. But just for me to be in the stage I am now, just honoring their last name, it makes me happy. And at the end of the day, that's all I want,
I think that's so cool. I love that you were able to bring that up. And now some family connections. So when did you know football was your thing? Did you settle on it in high school? Was it younger than that? When did you know?
Football, honestly, did not really become a thing till sophomore year of high school.
Okay. Yeah.
So believe it or not, I wasn't this big growing up. Or actually, I was big until I was a freshman.
Okay.
I kid you not, I was the same size as Troy Franklin.
Really?
I was a wide receiver in the den.
Wow.
I'll send you guys photos if you guys needed proof, a little 80-yard tub when I was a freshman, I got all the proof I need. People.
How were your hands as a freshman?
Beautiful. My coach, my head coach, Brandon Maddich, first saw me at wide receiver, 80-yard bomb, just right down the sideline. He just watched me run. He was like, that's my guy. But, yeah, love that guy too. But that was kind of it, man. And then, Brandon Maddich pulled me up as a freshman. He was like, I need you to play tackle for us, and I was like, I was a skinny little dude, and I was like, dang, I got to throw some weight on.
Right.
Us poly people, we can eat, so I guess I just full on bought into my poly side.
What was the meal of choice?
You guys going to hate me, horse.
Really?
Yeah, horse is amazing.
Huh.
Yeah, so
I wouldn't have thought
that. Yeah, it's pretty fire.
So you put on the weight?
Yeah, put on the weight. I played offensive line
in
high school, so I played right tackle, and then I moved to right guard.
Yeah.
And then when I went to the University of Washington, I had the option to play both, but I really wanted to play D-line, so then I chose to play D-line.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you about that. You're a guy that played on both sides of the ball, so you chose it. It was your call to go on the D-line.
100%, yeah.
All right. Why?
It's a lot more funner.
Really?
Yeah. You have to know a lot, but transferring as an O lineman to a D lineman, you kind of get like tells from O lineman. You know, you're like, oh,
Right.
they're gonna do this. You know, certain calls, so
Right.
it makes the game a little easier for me.
So what have you taken away, and how much value is it that you played offensive line? Like, you still have some of the tricks of the trade, I'd imagine.
Oh, it's nice because like our lineman here, JPJ, and them, oh man, those are beasts in practice. So, you know, just like I'm, just picking up on their calls. Oh, I know where the play's going. You know, and they hate it too because they know too. So like, you're cheating the play. I'm like, man, this is a game of football. So.
All right, so you're gonna have a unique perspective on this question. This is an age-old question from me to football players, particularly defensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
Do offensive linemen hold every play?
Yeah. I already. Yeah.
Okay.
JPJ is the worst one. Sorry,
Did you hold every play as an O lineman?
Yes, I'll admit it. Yeah, I'll admit it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just part of the game.
Yeah, it's
right?
just part of the game.
Yeah,
it's okay
just
though.
part of the game. When you engage with someone on the O line, JPJ maybe as an example, like when do you know as a D lineman, like, oh, I won this rep? Like, is there a moment where it clicks? Like, okay, I'm good here.
It's like, you know, you get there, you're walking away, and you feel that little extra shove from someone. Like, I got him. And I just got him. And you just laugh, you know. And you line up. You're like, you okay? You just like tease him a little bit. Like, you okay, buddy? Like. So
this is what you say in the trenches.
Yeah, sometimes.
This is how the Ducks win in the trenches, right here. Yeah.
But it's funny though because we play some teams that don't talk smack at all.
Really?
So it's just like you can't really say nothing. You know, like you just feel like a bully. You know, you're just bullying like.
Yeah.
So you know, we played some teams so far that don't say anything. Like, good game, you guys are great online. Like, that's all you can really say.
Yeah.
But,
I remember Dorless told me earlier this year, and he said this before, that like, you know, you find your times in the game of football to get your digs in on the other team. You know, you agree?
Yeah, you do. You find your times. You know, they might get you a couple plays earlier. You know, you kind of hold that back. Like, I remember your number. I'm gonna get you back.
That makes sense, though.
That's just sometimes.
It's the ebbs and flow.
Yeah.
Taki Taimani joining us. This is a cool weekend for you. You mentioned the homecoming. So how many family members are in attendance?
46.
46.
Yeah, 46.
So how did it work making trades with teammates to get 46 tickets to this one?
It just started off. I kind of was like, okay, who's traveling? You know, I kind of like snuck around, like, hey, you got tickets? Like, kind of like snooping around, you know, because everyone's like, you got? Oh, I got a ticket, you know, and everyone comes over to like, oh, can I get like two? I'm like, no, I don't need them. But like most of the time, it's easier. You know, I kind of ask my room first, and then kind of, and then Jody helps us out a lot too. So like,
shout out to Jody.
Jody's clutch. I'll tell you that. Jody saved my life today. She's like, I was like, Jody, I need a few more. Like, can you help me? And she helped me. I was like, oh, you're a blessing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a large section all sitting together in green.
Yeah. They better be wearing.
Well,
they better
I'm
be
just making sure. But how cool is this going to be for you, though?
Oh, it's good, man. I think throughout my whole college career, I think it's going to be the first game my family's fully there. Like, a lot of my family. My grandparents won't be here, but they're back on the islands now. You know, my grandma's goal was to have me go to college and graduate, and then she was like, okay, I'm done. Like, so she did that. So she was standing on business.
Yeah. Hey, a woman of her word.
A woman of her word. But, yeah, so just to have my whole family there, you know, it's just a great experience, you know, my last season, you know, it being in Utah, it's going to be something I remember forever, especially because that's where it all started for me.
Right. All right, I want to get a timeout. Some cool family connections, though, and then you touched on your career. I've got some maybe tear-jerking questions about your career coming up, so stick with us. Taki Taimani is here, and we're back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
your home for Duck football.
Jump a short pass, it's intercepted. Oh, what a throw, what a catch. Pressure, steps up, goes down.
The Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Emmettith and Nicholas. Congratulations on getting your diploma. You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot fast and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back on the Toyota Coaches Show, we heard from Dan Lanning earlier, and he said that this guy is a special individual. We're hearing it. Taki Taimani back with us in the Country Financial Studio. All right, are you having fun?
Yeah, I'm having a great time, actually.
Good. See,
I love this.
That's good. But your entire season so far, like, I don't know if you hear this, but people say that you're playing well.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're playing well?
I feel like I'm playing a lot better. I think that there's still more of me and the guys in our room, so I think we need to just find that. I hope that this game is that game that we find that.
How about that defensive line group?
Yeah.
You know, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but or I guess maybe tell me if I'm characterizing this the way you all would want. Last year, you all were so banged up, in and out. This year, how nice is it to have a healthier group to show your skills?
It's so much better, you know. Like me and Brandon were talking about this, and we were like, man, this is the most healthiest I felt going into a season, you know, like going late in the season, you know. So that's very important. That just shows like what Lanning talks about, and just kind of paying attention to the numbers and making sure we reduce or, you know, just kind of unload on us, or just, you know, we got to kind of pick it up. But it shows that it's working, so I appreciate that for Lanning and the guy, and Love, especially in our sports science team, and just taking care of us.
You know, how big of a deal is that off the field and in the off season? Take us through
it. It's like we live here, so, you know, like we're pretty much training all day, and then we have all that free time, so that's when we take advantage of just kind of being here all day, and just we have the pulls. Chief's always here, man. That guy's a legend. So
Chief is a legend.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chief. He can tape an ankle faster than anybody.
And it's funny, too, because Chief's like a man of many mysteries, because he's just, if you watch him, you just watch him. Like, I just love watching Chief because he's never in the same place for too long.
No.
He's like, he always has his headphones in. He's like, okay, he'll run pills upstairs, come back like, where'd you go, Chief? You know, I just had to run upstairs. Like, so calm, you know, like, it's just the man of many mysteries.
The athletic training staff, though, probably, I think, does not get enough credit for what they do.
100%. I believe that, too, man. They do a great job of taking care of us.
All right, this is a cool weekend for you for a lot of reasons, like we were talking about. Your daughter gets a chance to see you play, right? Tell us about that.
So she is 10 months now. She was born December 6th last year, so, you know, she's a baby.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And this is going to be her first game. You know, she's a little bit too young to come, you know, but, you know, the dad side of me is like, yeah, you can come the third quarter, you know, like it's going to be cold. Like, we're already, you know, me and her mom are already kind of discussing, like, okay, when's the perfect time? But, you know, the fan side was like, please just be here the whole time, you know, like, but, you know, I'm always going to be a dad first before, you know, anything else. So just making sure she's healthy, you know, and she's okay while, you know, she's at the game. So that's the biggest thing.
But also, how special is it going to be that she does get to see?
Yeah, that's gonna be amazing. I'm excited. You know, that just brings a little more extra juice. But, you know, I'm just grateful for that moment. You know, I'm just very excited for that moment. That's what it is.
Get that post-game picture.
Oh, I have to.
All right.
100%
Get the post-game picture. My son is 15 months old.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and
hey,
the 2:30 kickoff next week for Cal means that he gets to come. So thanks again to the conference and the TV partners for that selection.
It's amazing.
You understand this? It fits into the nap schedule.
Yeah, it just works perfectly for all of us.
Yeah, it's exactly.
I understand.
All right, now your career, Taki. Has it started to hit you like last year? Have you let it hit you yet?
Not yet, not fully yet. You know, like I'll catch myself a little bit, like, you know, just like, oh, that was that last game, like fall camp. I kind of caught myself. I was like,
Really?
Man, that's my last fall camp. You know, like knocking on wood, but I was just like, that's it for me. You know, like, and just kind of closing this door, like, and just slowly closing this college door. You know, like you think about all the memories, all the guys you met, you know, all the coaches you've had in your life, and you just appreciate everything. You know, like you see where you are. You know, and that's just so little of what you have ahead of you. So, you know, just kind of reflecting, you know, is just kind of appreciating where I'm at now. You know, it's just what I've been doing, and it'll probably hit me in a couple of weeks. You know, when we do that senior night against Oregon State, I'm like, man, this is it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a fun ride. I loved all of it.
Well, take it in
Yep.
as best you can with a bunch more victories.
Yeah,
all right?
100%.
But how about this, though, graduating, right? You talked about how that was a goal of your grandma, it sounds like. So what's the degree in?
GSS, crime and law, and I want to open up a security company after I'm done with
So that's
football.
what you want to do?
Yeah, that, and then goal one, open up a boys and girls club back home in Utah, you know.
Sweet.
So that's the biggest thing, kind of focusing on education and showing that sports isn't the only way out, you know. So that's kind of my biggest goal. And then the security company, you know, big poly dude, so got a lot of cousins, uncles, friends, family friends, so that'd be easy too. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't run away from you. That's right.
Yeah.
You know, I was going to ask you what's next after football, and it sounds like you've already thought about that. But you still want to play football.
Yeah, still want to play football a little bit longer. You know, I'm blessed to have the shape, you know, like that I am, the health I have. So I'm just grateful that my body's holding up, you know. So. For me to play this game, and I just want to take advantage of it while I can still.
Yeah. All right. Now, this game in particular, defensively, some of the thoughts, some of the keys to success against the Utes.
Keys to success, man. It's just playing fundamental football. That's what T's been talking about all week. You know, it comes down to it's an old school football game, so it's just up front. You know, it's our D-line versus their O-line, our O-line versus their D-line. Who can perform better? So I think the biggest thing is just who can stop the run, who can establish the run, you know. I think that's the biggest thing up front. I think we've done a good job, you know. I think Lanning and all of them have done a great job of, like, giving us a game plan, and it's up to us as a defense and offense to kind of just execute that. And they put us in a great position, so hopefully we can do that. And I think we will. I think we've had a great week so far. You know, we got a few more days to just tweak some things and just kind of lock in.
You know, I know it's difficult for you all to ignore the outside noise. Mm-hmm. I know that. And you're a veteran. I'm sure you're telling the young guys, hey, you got to ignore this, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Now, that being said, the narrative is what the narrative is, that it's two very physical teams that go at it. I mean, how much does that kind of fire you up, honestly? I mean, I know you got to treat it like it's another game, but, hey, it's two physical teams going at it. You must take pride in your play.
Yeah, I think the standard we hold our D-line to, you know, and just how we want to show how physical we are, and I think Utah does that same thing, you know. So it's just kind of that thing. It's just smash mouth football, and just we line up and talk with our pads, and at the end of the day, we'll see who's more physical, and I think that's what it's going to be.
That's awesome. Taki Taimani, ladies and gentlemen, a homecoming, 46 family members and counting. There could be more.
There could be more, actually.
Yeah, who knows? Thanks again for being here, Taki.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks for being a duck, all right? Thank you, Taki Taimani.
Thank you, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy that post-game moment.
Oh, I will, for sure.
And then we'll talk about the rest of the memories once it's settled in.
Oh, yeah, we have to.
All right. Taki Taimani joining us. So we're going to get a timeout, come back. Jerry Jorge back with us, wrapping up the show with some keys to the game. 12:30 kickoff on Saturday. We'll see you in Salt Lake City on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Into the building for the first time after the shooting. It was crippling, but it had to be preserved.
In response to the Pulse nightclub shooting that affected the LGBTQ community, Barbara Poma, owner of Pulse, founded the One Pulse Foundation to honor Pulse victims and survivors.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart. It is the power of love in its rawest form.
Join the fight for LGBTQ acceptance. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because feeling full can sound like this.
How did the interview go? I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
And like this.
Mom, I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/act now. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Can't hear anything. You turn your headset down.
Sorry.
Your head's too big. It doesn't fit my head.
You know what I was thinking about? We were just discussing head sizes. Taki's fits me. I've got Taki's headset on now, and Taki's headset.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
that
Taki's headset is a good size. Taki. See, big heads.
Yeah.
I wear a 7 3/4 hat. I do have a big head.
Yeah.
So have you ever heard the term fathead?
Yes.
Okay. Fathead.
Thank you.
And proud of it.
Proud of it. It's worked for me so far.
It's not that much bigger. It's just a little bit, but it's amazing.
The biggest thing is that I do turn the headphones down.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Well,
when I'm your age, I'll probably be turning them up too. It's true, right?
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
I'm
After
calling
the
my
big head comment,
I'm
you had
getting
a
hold
comment,
of my
okay?
attorney
Look,
right now.
Hey,
you walked right into that one.
It's fair game.
I'm my own worst enemy.
All right, look here, Graybeard. Okay,
It's
You
coming
set
in
it
good.
up. Hey, where's the flag?
It's better than a week ago, I'll tell you that.
Oh,
I gotta say, everybody. So at the end of the show last week, Jorgie just completely derailed me, and I was lost. I was rolling on the floor
out of the clear.
with
He just popped it.
So you didn't shave today. I gotta tell everybody, the beard looks good. Jerry's beard looks good.
Checks in the mail.
It does.
Checks in.
Yeah.
No, it looks good.
You're there. Yeah.
I'm telling you.
It just took a week
Look,
to get there.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at that. That's a good-looking beard.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Look at
that does
Can you
look
get
good.
a still shot of that and send that to my wife? She appreciates
We'll
it.
take care of that.
You know, actually,
look, you're just bundling up for the winter and the cold weather.
Is
in
that
Salt
it?
Lake
It's going to
City.
be a little cool in Salt Lake City.
You know,
a little bit
it was
sunny.
cool around here. Your swimming pool had
I know.
hailstones as
Did
big
you
as a
see
baseball
those?
ball.
See those hailstones that were falling in our backyard?
Where did we go off the rails?
Wow.
Taki was great.
He was
Yes.
phenomenal.
And
But
he gave the keys to the game.
Yeah, he did.
I'll say it again. Every young man we've had in here for our shows has just shined.
Yeah.
They're so personable. I just love it. It's an opportunity for you as fans to get to know the people behind the helmet, the mask, and the pads. I love it.
Well, and I wanted to tell everybody, too, that originally, and I had said on Duck Insider that we were going to have Casey Rogers this week. Casey actually has class from 6 to 9 on Wednesdays.
Oh, you're talking about – I thought you were talking about him being classless. No, he has –
No.
Okay, you mean a school class.
Casey, I didn't say it. Flag on the play.
Right. I
Thank
didn't
you.
know. Okay.
So Casey, though, truly,
to school.
he has class, a grad school class from 6 to 9. So we're going to have to find a time to get Casey Rogers on to record. But it worked out because Taki Taimani, of course, a bit of a coming home for him. So it worked out for us to do that this week.
Is so cool.
But
Great
Casey's
story.
still on the list and a few others, too.
All right. We got a game to talk about. Utah. He talked about his keys. Are yours any different than what Taki mentioned?
No, they're not.
No, they are.
To stop the run and run the ball.
Yeah. It's in the trenches this
Yeah.
week more than ever.
Big time. Old school football. And he's right. It's kind of neat to see that every once in a while where you see old school football where two teams go at it that are extremely physical, the way that they play. Oregon just week in and week out. I think Utah seems to have that reputation year after year after year, and Oregon does too. And they're both living up to it this year, and now the two worlds collide in Salt Lake City.
Coach Whittingham. That's his personality.
You did what me and Rob were talking about today. Whittingham.
Oh, yeah, it's Whittington. That's
Noah
same thing.
Whittingham, Kyle
Yes.
Whittington. I've done it once or twice. Whittington and Whittingham has
yes.
completely messed me up. and now it's Rob Mosley's fault. I'm looking at you, Rob. Anyway, I think that it's a lot of fun for me to see two teams that play that old school style. And what I love is that Oregon's offensive and defensive line, they take so much pride in it. They're talking about. That's why I asked Taki that question. And Casey Rogers, talking about him actually earlier this week, says that this is as close as you can get to Big Ten football between now a matchup with a future Big Ten member and a future Big 12 member that you're going to get. And I just really am excited to see a really physical football game. We've seen that. And, guys, it's amazing. In the last 10 meetings between these two teams, Ducks have won 6, Utes have won 4, and only a handful of those have actually been close games. It's kind of odd in the last 10 meetings.
Some crazy wild games, too.
2-3 of them have actually been close games.
Feels like Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali, doesn't it?
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay.
Just heavyweights going at it and
like
just beating up on each other.
Like
That's what it's going to be.
It's interesting in a year when we've been talking about the quarterbacks. This is a game when the quarterbacks will be important.
Yep.
But only if the offensive or defensive lines don't do their job.
Yeah.
So
got to play clean.
10:30 pregame show, another 12:30 game, and game day just follows Oregon around.
That's right.
So we'll be on game day again next week somewhere too.
Probably.
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know.
Hey, thanks for being a part of the show. Thanks to the coach for joining, and for Taki for joining us as well. We'll talk to you all on Saturday.
This has been the Oregon Football Coaches Show on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield. Presented by Toyota. Let's go places. Tonight's show has also been brought to you by Country Financial Insurance. Protect what matters. And by Pepsi and Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks. Drink Pepsi. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.